We live in an amazing world, full of wonderful people, doing incredible things, and I'm going to show them to you. I'm Doug Metcalf. Welcome to Positively You.
I was convinced that white and black people could get along if they just tried. You know, if they just made the first step.
Today on Positively You, I've got a real treat for you. You're going to meet my dear friend Alan Walden, a man that, along with his brother, brought us soul music. In a time where racial tensions were high, it was still the Jim Crow South. And Alan and his brother teamed up with a man named Otis Redding to bring us music that we all know as magic. That's coming up on Positively You. Alan Walden, welcome to Positively You. I'm going to just tell you right now, Alan is one of my dearest friends. Alan and I met about 5 years ago, and he was telling me all his stories, and I just found a kindred spirit with Alan. He's one of the nicest guys and most positive people, and he has really made this world a better place.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Well, it's the truth. And the way it started, you started in a place during Jim Crow days, working with one of the most iconic African-American artists that ever hit the stage. Tell us a little bit about your relationship with Otis Redding.
Otis Redding was my best friend in life. And he and I, Phil got in drafted. He wasn't drafted, whatever you are when you sign up military. Otis had to accept Phil's little brother stepping into his manager's seat, and that was a pretty tough job. I wasn't but 19 years old, and but he accepted me. And I grew to love him. I mean, I didn't just like him, I loved him. And he's the greatest soul singer that ever walked the earth, over all of them, maybe Aretha Franklin, okay? But Otis was a powerhouse. I mean, I've seen him at times when he'd be ready to go down the stage and sweat be popping all out on his face, and he'd be jiggering around in this spot. And Otis, what's wrong? He said, I just got nervous. And I said, well, calm down. We got a service now.
Yeah.
They're introducing you now.
Tell me about how it was during those days working with an African-American artist, and it was Jim Crow days, so it wasn't easy, was it?
Yeah. Well, we got a lot of slang tossed at us, they always wanted to call you blankety blank, but we handled it, One thing, Otis never went to a downtown white restaurant with me. He wouldn't do it. And I was like, well, why not, man? This integration is past now. He said, I don't want these people in my hometown to be thinking of me as some stuck-up, and that's exactly what some of them wanted to call him, But he took it and packed it and shoved it right back down their throat with the best soul music there is. James Brown, everybody talking about he's soul man #1. If he stays in 2 keys, okay. Meanwhile, Otis Redding may have 10 sentences out by the time James be good God, But Otis was a friendly guy. I taught him how to ride horses, and he taught me how to write songs. And I taught him how to hunt and how to fish. He never had caught a fish. He caught a fish about this big, getting tears in my eyes here. He was so damn proud of that little fish. I mean, it was like, this is the biggest trout in the world, the biggest bass in the lake here, you know. He ain't about that long, you know. He was so proud of it, and, you know, I taught him how to hunt, bought him a 30-06, and Otis could shoot. He could shoot good. We were family in those days, you know, and on the way home, I used to stop at his house almost every other night, and Otis was the first one to ever turn me on to a joint, you know, and I drove past my house 3 times. You know, it was that good, and but he was the most loyal, honest, tough. He could be gentle, and he cared about people. He cared about people.
What was it like to be around Otis when he was on stage? I mean, what was that? What was he like on stage? I mean, what,
On stage?
Yeah, what was the magic?
Powerhouse. Dynamite. Turn it loose. Let him have it. Get him, Otis. Get him, Otis. Get him. You know? So I used to stand behind the curtain and scream at him. And it was just encouragement screams, you know? Like, get it, get it, get it, y'all. You know, and he come out, get it, 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 and tear me up, you know? Otis packed the house with lots of good-looking women, and he very loved his wife very much, but he was definitely a woman's singer, and he was going to get to him and take him for a ride. And when he got into Gottas, watch out. He could gotta lay it on you hard, boy. Let it knock him out the park, man. You know? And you know, we had girls rush the stage and try to. One girl managed to make it all the way up on the stage. She grabbed a hold to Otis's tie. Well, it happened to be the end that if you pulled it, it choked up the thing. This girl grabbed his tie and pulled it so hard that he had already collapsed to the floor and was on the verge of being totally unconscious. And his bodyguard, who was really a bodyguard, he whipped out his knife and ran out on the stage and stuck it up underneath that tie, cut it, and it took us 10 minutes to get him up off the floor. And, you know, so from then on, we didn't allow women on the stage, you know?
Yeah.
And he could sing to them. Close as you and me, you know. They'd be begging him to touch them, and after that tie experience,
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
he'd blow kisses at them and all that, but he knew how to handle that audience.
Yeah. I know there were some scares, but the night you got that phone call, and it was the call about his plane crash.
It was about his plane crash.
Yeah, what was that like?
was hell. You know, just, I had all these other artists. None of them were half as nice as Otis. You know, they had their own egos. Well, Otis would laugh about something about him, you know. He could laugh at himself. And he just had an outstanding personality, period. And the company was shook up so bad. I mean, a couple of times I couldn't help but think, damn, are we over with, you know? Is this going to be the end? Is Otis it? You know? And, you know, I got to tell you, I was so hurt, I contemplated suicide. And I wasn't playing. I was, I just had to get over it a little bit at a time. But
And Percy Sledge helped you do a little of that. He helped you out get
Percy
through that a bit.
Sledge was on my radio while I was taking a bath this morning. Percy Sledge was my second artist that I loved so much. Percy was just a country boy from Alabama, and he sing his heart out. I mean, when a man loves a woman, the warm and tender love, you know, sudden stop, all these great songs he had, warm and tender love, and Percy was just great. He was just great. He was the only problem Percy had was he could not write songs. You know, he could sing them, but he couldn't write them, and that hurt him some. But so we just brought in a lot of writers, and we found a lot of hits. You know.
Yeah.
Got that one, turn out man, that's a woman. He could do it, boy.
Yeah, he could.
You know?
So
he had the #1 record in the nation the first time out.
Yeah.
Okay? And it sold something like 1,300,000 copies, right? And, so he was a smash hit.
Yeah.
And man, he was a country boy from Alabama. His wife and family lived right on the side of a railroad track. And he had a heart of gold. I mean, he had a heart of gold. Yeah. Never saw him get in a fight. They told me there was one girl he fought with that she was mean. She was mean. She was working him over. He wasn't working her over, you know. But
so how does it feel that you and your brother basically, as a duo, changed the way race was dealt with during that time? Because if you two didn't bring these artists out and fight for them, we might still have even deeper racial tensions than we do now.
yeah.
So what do you feel about that? I mean, you did that.
Well, I felt good about it. You know. I felt good about when I was doing it. And I was convinced that white and black people could get along if they just tried. You know, if they just made the first step.
You've had so many artists that we could talk on just the soul thing for hours. But what I'm thinking we're going to do, I'm going to bring Alan back for next week's episode, and we're going to talk about Southern rock, because if you like Southern rock, Alan and his brother started the whole trend, and then Alan took it to all new levels with Lynyrd Skynyrd and the Outlaws. We're going to have that next week on Positively You. Looking forward to seeing you. Hope you're looking forward to it too. Alan, we'll be back with Southern rock next week. stay positive.